All right, we're going to get started. Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. Good to see a full house. This is the regular meeting of November 17, 2025. Roll call, please.
Woodside.
Present.
Ross.
Here.
Gurnee.
Here.
O'Brien.
Present.
Thomas.
Present.
Thorstenson.
Here.
6 present.
I'll stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I am going to move the first public comment to right before business for tonight so that we can move right on to the consent agenda and then for the items that most of you are all here for tonight. So first of all, the approval of the consent agenda is presented.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Balmas, second by Trustee O'Brien. Roll call, please.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
6 present.
Pat.
At number 1, approval of the minutes from the October 27, 2025 and November 3, 2025 meetings. At number 2, approval of resolution 2025-11, establishing certain property of the Village of Gurnee to be surplus, Fire Department Units 1344 and 1397, Public Works Units 241, 254, 266, 271, and 272, Police Department Unit 179, and Community Development Department Units 302, 304, 306, 367, and 472. Item number 3, approval of Police Department request for Officer Corey White and Police Social Worker Rebecca Price to attend the Intro to Crisis Hostage Negotiation Basic Course in Appleton, Wisconsin from January 12th through the 16th, 2026, at an estimated cost of $3,900. Item number 4, approval of payroll for period ending October 31st, 2025 in the amount of $1,457,440.45. Item number 5, approval of bills for period ending November 17th, 2025 in the amount of $2,417,470.79.
Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Garner, second by Trustee Ross. Roll call, please.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. On to petitions and communications. The first is administration of oath of office for the promotion of Fire Lieutenant Nick Perry to Fire Captain. All right. Nick, you want to come down? John, you're going to talk.
So you're going to make Nick stand next to me when I roast him, huh? All right. No. What an exciting night for the fire department. We have the opportunity to see career advancement. Nick, well, not too many years ago, became a lieutenant. Kind of starting back before that even, Nick always took testing very seriously, promotions. He worked very hard. But besides what he does in the department, outside the department, Nick is a big believer in formal education. Nick's gone out, he's obtained his bachelor's degree, he has a master's degree, he's now over at the college teaching, he's bringing new students in. He just started the first advanced fire officer program in the history of College Lake County. He's teaching it along with another battalion chief. He's a career leader in the fire service. It was natural when the opening came up that Nick was ready for the position. I say that, but as we all know, these are tested positions. Nick didn't just get to be here because he's the chief's favorite or he got the most votes. He went through an arduous process for testing. I know. I told him I was going to roast him, and I didn't go there. Testing process. It lasts a couple months. We start getting reading lists 6 months out. He reads 6 books. He takes a written test on that. He goes in front of chiefs from other departments. He's evaluated through assessment centers. He takes written tests. He does oral interviews with our Civil Service Board. All those scores are combined. He came out number 1 on the list. At which point, Nick, the last few months, has been working as an acting BC. He served us very well in that role. And just recently, with the retirement of BC Haraver, this position opened, and Nick has stepped up, and he's overseeing our apparatus replacement program from the administrative side. Bob is going to continue to work on the vehicles. As I said, it's natural that he's ready for this position. I'm excited to bring him before the board, and thank you tonight for administering the oath of office to him. Congratulations, Nick.
All right, Nick, you ready? Yes, sir. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
Nick Perry,
Having been appointed to the office of
having been appointed to the office of
Fire Captain
Fire Captain
in the village of Gurnee,
in the village of Gurnee,
in the state of Illinois,
state of Illinois,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I'll support the Constitution of
that I'll support the Constitution of
the United States,
the United States,
the state of Illinois,
state of Illinois,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of
and will faithfully discharge the duties of
Fire Captain.
Fire Captain.
Congratulations.
If I could, I'd like to have my wife, Jessica, pin my badge on me. For those of you that know me well, you know I don't like to celebrate myself, but looking out at the audience, I definitely don't need to. A lot of people are here for other things for sure, but there's a lot of people here for myself and Austin tonight. It means a lot to me. Gurnee has supported me over the years. It's given my family a living. And I want to thank the Village of Gurnee and the trustees and the chief, and the mayor. Thanks for all the opportunities that you've given me over the years. I wouldn't be here without the support of everyone who came here, even if I don't know you. But I hope that I can continue to serve as much as you guys have given me. I want to continue to give back to the community and everyone standing out in the audience. And I hope I do the position justice. Haraver was here for a long time and some big shoes to fill, and I got little feet, so. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming out.
Someone taking a picture. There we are. Congratulations. Thank you. All right.
All right, here we go. Come stand next to me so I roast you. Talk to the mayor. Yes, sir. Okay. Next, tonight, we have the opportunity to celebrate, last time we're going to refer to him as Firefighter Malinsky. Austin's story may be a little different than Nick's, but it's one to celebrate for sure. Austin is a true, hardworking, never says no firefighter, paramedic. What I mean by that, some people, education comes easy. Some people, learning comes easy. I mentioned all the degrees Nick has. Guess what? Austin has every one of those. But when Austin went out and earned his degrees, he had to work a little harder than the average person. Learning doesn't come as easy. It doesn't. We've had the opportunity. He puts a little more hours in behind the scenes than most people realize. And it's paid off. Those same tests Nick had to do for a BC, Austin had to do for a lieutenant. And when sometimes education and learning doesn't come as quick to you, it makes those tests a little harder. One of the things when Austin came to the office and met with Dave and I, Deputy Chief Douglas and I, to accept the position, what we had to tell him, and we really don't normally have to tell people this, is, Austin, you just got to slow down sometimes. You do. He takes everything on like a bull, whether it's his education, whether it's he's going to rip a wall down, whatever he's going to do, he goes. As a lieutenant, I'm saying, slow down now. Watch your people around you. You're there. You're the safety guy. You're there. He's got the education to do it. He's been working. He's been doing his job. He's had the opportunity to be an actor. He's proven himself. He's done a phenomenal job with that. He's really ready for this position. He was probably as emotional as anyone's ever been in my office when we've had this opportunity to offer the position to him. It's telling how hard he had to work to get here. I'm proud of you for all the effort you put in, all the patience you had, all the trials, up and downs. You've earned this, and congratulations to you, Austin.
Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Austin Malinsky,
Hereby having been appointed to
hereby having been appointed
the office of
to the office of
Fire Lieutenant
Fire Lieutenant
in the village of
in the village of
Gurnee in the county of Lake,
County of Lake,
do solemnly affirm
solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support
of the United States, the state of Illinois,
the state of Illinois,
will faithfully discharge
faithfully
the duties of
the duties of
Fire Lieutenant.
Fire Lieutenant.
Congratulations.
Sorry about that, Mary. Oh, no, you got to do it through the
Oh,
mic.
sorry.
You got to call her.
My wife, Jamie. Sorry.
Mess with you.
I'm not used to that.
Mess with you.
Wow.
I usually don't say a lot, so I just want to say thank you to everybody. I didn't do this by myself. It's because of all of you. My family, sorry. Birthdays, holidays, anniversaries. I miss them, and I'm sorry. But it was because of this. And this means a lot to me. Okay? Commander Kalinowski said something to me a while back. Blue, red, makes purple. And it's not about the color, it's about the family. And that's what we are here, serving this community very well. Thank you.
So as you can see, we're just really proud of the fire department. Got a lot of great men and women. We actually have 3 women now, right, John? Is that right? So that's doing great. Oh, 5? Oh, really? Oh, that's right. That's right. And, well, at least 3 of them are Jessica. So I'm in a good spot to be able to know what I'm calling them. So thanks, the Village of Gurnee as well, and just in a great place as far as the fire department's concerned, and the leadership especially does a great job. So thanks, John, for all your work. So now we're going to do the veterans portion, and I don't see, is Jim Husel? Ah, there he is. Hey, Jim. So this is our 2nd year, right, Jim? So you want to talk a little bit about the program?
Yeah, I talked to the mayor about a year ago, maybe more than that, about doing some kind of program to honor the veterans in our community and make the community aware of the veterans that live and work here every day and raise their families here. So with his great leadership, we started the Veterans Blue Ribbon Commission, and I'm the chairman of that commission. And our job is to identify areas of need for veterans and to educate the community on the veterans and what they've done in the past and what they're doing presently within the community. And this banner program has been an outstanding program that the Village of Gurnee put together to hand out, have banners of people that served in the military, that are veterans, that are on active duty presently and that. And the pride of people driving up and down Oak Plain and seeing their photograph when they were young, we all remember those days. And also the ones that are on active duty right now. So I'm really proud to be a part of the Village of Gurnee and what Mayor has done for this program.
Thanks, Jim. So I'm going to call out each person, and if you're present, please come down, and we'll give you your banner. So first is David Mark Wiltz, Navy, 1983 to 1988. Okay. Next is James Michael Balmus, Army, 1941 to 1945. Say something? Your dad? Oh, it's your dad? Okay. Did you want to say something? And Jeannie Balmus's uncle. All right. Okay. Next is PVC Adam John Tufo Hergenrieder, Army, 2005 to present. Congratulations. Okay. John Pesante, Army, 1966 to 1970. Okay. Patricia J. Ellsbury, Navy, 1971 to 1984. Okay. William Gross, Air Force, 1981 to 2016. Sean Patrick Madden, Army, 2021 to present. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Next is Zachary Descuriz, Army National Guard, 2020 to present. I butchered that last name, so. All right. Gerald P. Cruz, Navy, 1972 to 1976. Sam Payne, Marines, 2025 to present. All right. Congratulations. I'm going to get everybody here. Congratulations. Let me get you. How about you? Yeah. Next is Richard Bordeaux, Navy, 1964 to 1987. Next is James E. Blanton, Army, 1966 to 1968. All right. Congratulations. Thank you. Frank Normoyle, Navy, 1948 to 1952. Thank you. Thank you, Christine. Congratulations. Ed Huffines, Air Force, 1953 to 1957.
Sell my property.
Yes, yes, it was. All right, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Clarence J. Feck, Navy, 1952 to 1973. Take your time.
today, and I picked it up because I didn't know that you were handing them out today.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And he passed away just 6 months ago.
I'm
so,
sorry to hear
yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
anyway.
Thank you. John Dementrenko, Army, 1965 to 1967. John White, Army, 1971 to 1973. Congratulations, John. Oh. Peter J. Huang, Army, 1971 to 1976. Blair Lenora Colbert, Air Force, 2007 to 2013. Stanley Michael Crevier, Navy, 1957 to 1981.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. James K. Perry, Marines, 2022 to the present. Dominic Paul Buccelli, Marines, 2021 to 2025. Neil J. Wolf, Army, 2003 to 2009. Juan Carlos Gaitan, Marines, 1997 to 2013. Doris J. Cashmore Lossman, Army, 2042 to 2000, or 1945, 1942 to 1945. That would have been a long time. Harvey E. Lossman, Army, 1966 to 1969. Harvey J. Lossman, Army, 1942 to 1945. The last one is Lieutenant Colonel Braden Eager, Air Force, 2010 to the present. As I've said before, veterans are near and dear to my heart. We like to have banners for them, but however, in the village of Gurnee, we like to put some feet to what we do. We like to do the best we can working through the Legion and other places to provide real assistance. We know that when you go to war, when you serve, that it's a hard go. And when you come back to civilization here and try to work in a civil job, sometimes it's not so easy. So in the village of Gurnee, we want to make that easier for you best we can. And just recognizing that when we walk around here with freedom, that we owe it to you, because if it wasn't for you, things would be a whole lot worse, I'm sure. So thank you from the board, village board, and from myself. And just for the last part, of everybody that had come up here, if you'd like to come down for a big group picture, that'd be a nice way to end it for the veterans, I think. So come on down.
And just to let everybody know, I'm the service officer for the post, so if there's anything you need from the VA system or anything, let us know.
Okay, so are they is someone separate here that should come down?
No, our two kids are at
Oh, sorry,
and
okay.
then our daughter should be on there too.
Oh, didn't make notice. All right, sorry about that. All right, if everybody could squeeze in best you can. Okay, guys, why don't you get on in the picture if you can? All good? Yeah, right in front of you. Thank you, everybody.
But you go to fine pants now? Hey! Yeah, one. Thought I snatched your paperwork for a minute. Finally, they did my roof.
Saw that. We're supposed to be starting on mine next week.
They were talking 3 or 4 more weeks, and I was like, guys. And then the guy called me 2 days later, said, we're coming on Monday. I'm like, whoa. So I don't know what happened. I'm glad it did.
Yeah, I forgot how many. I didn't get to walk. Maybe I walked maybe 45 minutes.
This is board chair?
No, we did Ryerson.
Yep, I like grass. I knew it immediately when I saw
like
the
it.
pictures.
They walked 6.5 miles.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one. I like the foundation. Ah, thank you, ma'am. Sidewalk.
She's the biggest softie out of all of them.
Why did they have to make a sound like that?
She's the biggest softie.
They probably do. Like the
It came from
McDonald's
somewhere.
hot cup of coffee.
Yeah, really.
All right.
So I was walking in the track and he was saying he didn't know his decision. Oops. Do you need one? I guess so. There is. No, I know it's here. You may remand it to the
Yeah, I mean,
brand.
you could. Because
Hello, Jimmy.
no.
Right,
There.
right.
Like I haven't seen you in a while.
Thank you. So we don't have any.
Huh?
No.
Oh, yeah, I was out of town too.
The question I
That's probably why I missed
What's that?
All right, we're going to move on to the next portion, and I had moved the public comment for specific issues that are listed on the agenda for tonight. So you can step up to the microphone and state your name and make your comments about only items that are specifically on the agenda for this evening. There'll be an opportunity at the end to have a public comment about those things not on the agenda. Okay, so we'll move on to There's no reports, no old business. On to new business. Approval of ordinance 2025,
78.
granting a special use permit for an electronic message board sign pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance for 720 Milwaukee Avenue, Primo Italian-American Cuisine. Pat?
Sure. So I had a memo from our Director of Community Development, David Ziegler, on this. Primo was before the Planning and Zoning Board on October 22nd, requesting the addition of a sign with an electronic message board, so that would put a third sign on the property. PZB did not like the addition of a third sign, but was supportive of one of the two current signs on the property being converted to an electronic message board. Primo was agreeable to that. So what we're talking about here is the sign on Route 21 that is north of the building. This sign would be 24 square feet. I had a error in my notes. The Alex sign, for comparison, is 28 square feet, the electronic message board portion, so this would be a little smaller than the Alex sign on Washington Street. Overall sign's 10.8 feet tall. Bottom is an aluminum cabinet with wood lattice and accent panels that'll match the building. The middle is the electronic message board portion, and then the top would have a mix of a push-through copy for Primo, and then routed and backed up copy for stake underneath. So the ground area around the base of the sign will have landscaping, be set back 10 feet from the property line as is required, and then it will comply with the 9 restrictions that we've put on other electronic message board signs within the village as far as how often it changes, no flashing, scrolling, et cetera. So they're agreeable to all that. Received a unanimous favorable recommendation from the PZB and is before you for consideration.
All right. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee O'Brien, second by Trustee Thorstensen. Any discussion or comments? Roll call, please.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstensen.
Aye.
6 aye.
All right, motion carries. Item number 2, approval of ordinance 2025,
79.
granting a special use permit for a car wash pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance for 7340 Route 132, Dream Clean Car Wash. Pat?
Sure. So I'll give you a high-level overview. David will fill in anything I miss, and then the petitioners here this evening. So Dream Clean Car Wash is looking to locate on a vacant parcel at 7340 Grand. So this is out by Bona Beef. Property zone C2, so car wash requires a special use permit. They currently operate 7 regional car wash businesses and are looking to expand in Northern Illinois. This site has unincorporated residential zoning to both the north and the east. It was before the PZB on October 22nd. A couple of the highlights, 5,700 square foot building, 3 car wash lanes with a bailout lane after the pay station, 16 vacuum stalls, planning on daily operations from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and they estimate approximately 400 cars washed per day. At the PZB meeting, you had some nearby residents that spoke in opposition to it. 3 residents spoke in opposition to it, mainly concerned about the traffic, noise, and lighting. Following that testimony, the PZB is forwarding an unfavorable recommendation on a vote of 3 against, 2 for to the village board. After the PZB meeting, Dream Clean did submit some additional documentation to staff that was included in your packet. This includes a enhanced site plan that shows additional vehicle queuing when there's high demand. So the plan shows the ability to stack 36 vehicles before it interferes with the access lane to a proposed future bank to the east. And then the second piece of information related to traffic. So it was a traffic summary memo from KLOA traffic engineers, and it looked at what was originally proposed on the site and then how the site is developed and how this car wash impacts that. And their conclusion was that peak hour traffic will be significantly less than the original plan on weekday mornings, slightly less than the original plan on Saturday midday, but moderately higher during weekday evenings. So that's kind of a high-level overview. I'm not sure, David, if you've got anything else to add.
Just due to the fact that it was a negative recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Board, we are required to have a affirmative vote by the majority of the seated trustees. So that means 4 trustees would have to vote in favor of it for it to pass. So Pat gave an adequate overview of the Planning and Zoning Board hearings. The 3 residents that did speak, some of their concerns have been discussed with the overall site developer. They've submitted some additional information and have, agreed to do some additional traffic calming measures on the site, including putting a multi-way stop sign in the center and doing some lane striping, which has proven effective over the years to kind of calm some of the traffic, as well as enhancing some of the landscaping on site. So petitioner is here. They've got a brief presentation to go through, and then it'll be up for the board's discussion and approval.
All right. The petitioner would like to proceed with whoever that's going to be. Please step to the microphone, state your name.
Good evening. My name is Craig Crandall with the law firm Zukowski, Rogers, Flood, and McCardle. As identified by the administrator as well as Mr. Ziegler, we appeared before Planning and Zoning Board, gave our presentation, and as identified, there were some residents who came out, raised some issues. We've sought to address those, both us as a group as well as the developer of the entire site, which I have with us this evening. We also have all of our professional and third-party representatives if there's any specific questions. At the time of our presentation, there weren't a lot of significant issues raised about our development as a car wash. We worked closely with staff ahead of time to make sure that any issues related to noise, sight lines, and that we had an additional 4-foot wall, landscaping, and other things to make sure that we did the least amount of interference with the adjoining owners. A lot of the issues raised were really about the fact of this being a commercial development and the kind of service lane that goes behind. I do have a PowerPoint, and first of all, congrats to all of you guys. Great presentations this morning. It's great that your fire and everyone do a really great job here. I'm gonna try and keep it at a minimum because you've already been here through a bit already. So, Dave, a little bit quick about Dream Clean. We're a regional car wash developer currently have 7 sites that are in operation, looking to develop about 10 more throughout northern Illinois. Done a lot of development work up in this area, looking for consistency. It's important to us to become a part of the community, both with community affairs and other stuff. Look to be a regional employer, bring people in here, run a good clean ship. Talks about the design we're looking as a prototype. They're all going to look the same. If you want to maybe run through our next slide. Shows Dream Clean really look to be part of the community, look to recycle as much of the water as we can. Approximately 55% of the water that we come through will be recycled, and least amount of water used as possible. We have a couple different renderings showing what the sites each look like. We do like to make it very attractive and good for the community. I'm going to run through a couple different sites through there. As you look, there's 3 stacking lanes that we have. It showed the pay stations there, kind of our sign. The next slide, I think, is the one that shows, if you'll see on the site plan, since the time of our appearance before Planning and Zoning, kind of in the gold there, that shows the additional stacking. Initially, the stacking that we have is about twice which is really necessary. There are times, approximately 10, 12 days a year, where part of those days there's going to be a real rush. It's going to be a time where it's just between what the conditions recently were and the conditions are that day for the weather, people really want to come out and get their car washed. And at those times, there's going to be additional cars. Where we show here looks kind of an orangish gold. We added to the site plan showing where we can add additional stacking. Even at those times, we're not really going to be interfering with any of the roadways or that. Plenty of stacking there. And if you can see kind of the right corner, that's an entryway for the proposed bank there. So it'll stop short of that, so people coming in won't really be impacted, but there's plenty of area for stacking there. Additionally, at those times when it does get really, really busy, staff is directed to go out, direct people where to go. They can also turn up the speed of the car wash, meaning you can get the cars through there a little bit faster in order to allow for those rushes. When they have these rushes, it's approximately an hour or 2, maybe 10 or 12 times a year. So most of the time it's pretty static. And as the administrator identified, approximately 400 cars a day will come through. Next slide. This is our landscaping plan. Again, we worked with staff. We have our landscape engineer here with us. All of the plantings that we have are as required. I'm not sure we can get much more plantings here. One of the issues raised by neighbors was really lights may be coming through, and that, as I'll identify later in our slides, and as a developer identified, if we need to, he is committed to put additional plantings on the service road in order to block any lights that may come across that way. There were 5 concerns generally that were raised at the planning and zoning. First was vehicular headlights along the service road. As you may be familiar, there's a service road that comes behind our development. The traffic that goes there is going to be there, whether it's a car wash or any other use. There already is some. Some people are using it as a cut-through, so it's a little more traffic as identified. So number 1, headlights along the way. We can add additional landscaping along that area and along the berm. And I should point out that each of the points here, the developer of the entire site is willing to, if you wish, we can add those as conditions to our approval, even though it's not part of our site. As a developer there, he's willing to make that part of it because it is important to be good with the neighbors. Number 2 is a conflict of headlights along the residential houses located a little bit further down at the T intersection as the service road goes down. There are some plantings already there that some of the neighbors have, looking to work directly with those neighbors, relocate some of their stuff, and again, put more plantings in order to reduce any light that comes through. Item 3 identified the service drive as a cut through. 2 things were sought to be added. Add a stop sign there to make move it a little bit slower. Also, it was identified in this traffic report from KLOA along with at the time of our presentation to planning and zoning, as more development occurs. Right now, it's only Buena Beef. There's going to be more development. As that occurs, the development will have more and more traffic. It won't really be good as a cut-through because there'll be traffic people coming in and out. So that in and of itself will reduce the amount of traffic that goes through. But 2 points, 1 was putting some stop signs, and then we identified some striping because that'll cause people to slow down. And then Dave, you want to go to the last slide? Parking lot lights located currently are shining through to the residents. Relatively simple fix. There's some shields that can be put on those in order to stop some of the bleeding of the light over that way. And those are things that are currently there. That's got nothing to do with our development. Then lastly, there was some concern of safety of vehicles coming along this access road. And as identified in the photos here, some additional curb blockage can be put in there. And again, all of this has been agreed to by the developer following our meeting and presentation. Mr. Tim Hague, who's with us today, part of Keystone, has met with residences and talked about these. And as I identified, happy to add that, to that in order to appease some of the concerns there. I have with us tonight our engineer, our architect, our sound engineer, and our traffic consultant. So if any issues that you may have or questions, they're each here to answer that. And hopefully we've addressed the biggest concerns that were raised. Again, we're a regional car wash developer putting in a number of car washes up here in Northern Illinois, and would love to be able to include Gurnee as part of that.
Thank you for your presentation. So if we do have questions, then we'll offer those at the time. So at this point, we're going to have a motion and then have time for questions and discussion. So is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee O'Brien, second by Trustee Thorstensen. All right, so I'll go to my right first to see if there's any questions or comments. Trustee O'Brien.
Thank you, Mayor. In not any particular order. I did watch the entire PZB meeting, and so I'm glad that you addressed many of those concerns. I still want to bring up a few that I remember hearing the residents talk about. That wetland that they mentioned, Dave, is that the one that was moved then further west? So now there's like a pond west?
Yes, part of it was mitigated off-site, I believe, and part of it was incorporated into the detention facility that's there now.
Thank you. Regarding what would be the northern side of the property, there were 2 things that I remember them talking about, and it sounds like you addressed them, but I would like to make sure that we have the street lights, have the shields on the back of them, or have the wash go away from the houses, the wash of the lights. I think that's what that's called.
Yeah, and that's something that's a performance standard. I wasn't aware, or we weren't aware that there was an issue with those lights since they were installed. So that's something that will need to be addressed regardless.
And then piggybacking with that would be, I would like to see the additional plantings, and I think you mentioned guardrails potentially on that back end, just to help with the neighbors that are to the back. That would be nice. And then my last thing was the additional stacking, the gold stacking. I noticed it's stacked and stopped in a one-way road. Is that an access issue for public safety that might have to get through because you're blocking a one-way road?
So it's a two-way road along that, it kind of splits the property line. So if there is an emergency issue out there, there's still access, free-flowing access between the car wash site and the bonus site. And then also there would still be free-flowing access into the bank site if need be.
Beautiful. That's all I've got. Thanks,
And
Mayor.
if I could, I will comment on the landscape quantities. If you remember, the board modified the zoning code probably a year and a half, 2 years ago to increase the depth of those buffers between commercial sites and residential sites. So we bumped it from, I want to say, 8 feet to 30 feet. We did that to give extra space. We did not increase the amount of plantings that are required within that buffer. So that is something we've identified that may be deficient, and we're looking at that right now. So that will be something that we will address in the future. But the plantings that are there now meet the current code requirements, but they may appear a bit sparse, especially at, when they're young and early in planting.
But did I hear that they said they're going to increase even those beyond what we require? And was there a 4-foot fence on top of a berm?
There is not a fence required at this point. They opted to do a bush hedgerow screen, which is planted at this point. They are offering to increase the amount of plantings in some key areas through that bermed area.
Yeah, there is a fence on the petitioner's property proposed, though.
Thanks. Thanks, Dave.
It's not north of the ring road, it's south of the ring road. Or the driveway.
Yeah, so as part of the development, they did put a 4-foot wall. I don't know if you can see it. So it's between the pay stalls for the car wash, the ring road around. We had them install a 4-foot wall to catch the headlights as they're sweeping through. So that is an addition that they did agree to do, and that is part of the approval of the plan that's before you.
Thanks, none.
Trustee Thorson?
Thanks. I think Trustee O'Brien got a few of mine, so I thank you for doing the plantings on the service road. I think that will be advantageous. And are your hours typical of other car washes? I'm kind of looking towards Dave and Ellen and yourself.
Yes, hours at 8 are pretty typical. Actually, I just looked at some hours. We recently are about to acquire a project down in Palatine. They originally had hours from like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. But I think right now all the projects that we're doing are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That may get adjusted and get reduced a little bit depending on how it goes, but that's generally the hours across the industry these days.
Thank you. So what about sound? I heard that some of the residents had concerns on sound, but other than maybe you planting fir trees that would give more density to the growth of the planting, what else would you be doing to discuss sound?
Well, first off, when we came to the village and sought to do the project, it was made very clear where the sound should be in the direction where you enter the car wash and where you go out. That's all coming down to the south. Predominantly, the sound is coming out of the back end where you have the blowers. Also, we have 2 different pumps that service the vacuums. Initially, we had one pump on the north end, one the south. Both were moved to the south. Really, I don't think there was a lot of issues raised about sound. We do have with us this evening our sound engineer. The sound engineers generally look at what's the ambient noise and what is added, by this project. Certainly, he'd be way better at explaining that. So if you have specific questions, we can bring up a sound expert Mr. Thunder. And so if you want him to come up, he certainly can answer if there are any, but I don't recall that there were significant issues raised about some.
Actually, by you saying you moved them to the south side of the property, I think that would be sufficient.
We did very good, thank you.
And who's using that access road right now? Is it residents?
So the service drive that runs through there is basically an offset of 150 feet from Woodland Terrace. So according to the residents, it's people that are wanting to short circuit the Almond Road, Hutchins Road signalized intersection. So it queues up, they'll head north on Bridlewood through the service road, or if the service road wasn't there, they'd go one block, 150 feet farther north onto Woodland Terrace and basically make that same maneuver to get onto Hutchins heading north. So that's the only logical cut through that I can see that would be out there. As they indicated, as of right now, because there's no businesses out there, this is a more attractive option to the motoring public. Once the businesses start locating out here and we get this site fully occupied, I think the desirability of making this shortcut will be lessened.
But not eliminated.
Not eliminated, that's why we're proposing doing the center line striping, why they're proposing doing the multi-way stop sign in the middle to hopefully make it less attractive than using the public streets.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Russ?
I have three. When the cars go around, in the words that were written, it said that they could either go to the vacuums before or after the car wash. But as it looks here, it looks like they go directly from where they pay into the tunnel.
Yeah, I'm Mitch Zavoduk, the Director of Development for Dream Clean Car Wash. So I guess, sort of pointing with my finger here, when they come in, they could bypass in order to go to the vacuum stalls before they go into the car wash. They would simply just drive past the entrance to the pay stations and then drive right into the vac stalls, vacuum their cars, and then enter into the queue lane for the car wash, or they could go through the car wash and do their vacuuming afterwards. It's up to the customer. Our vacuums are available at all times during open business hours, and they're free to anyone to use, whether or not they're using our car wash.
Okay, that was one question. Then the other one is when you come out of the tunnel, and on the thing it says no right turn.
Yeah.
So you can't go back and go directly out if you're not going to use the...
You can go directly out. You would go back out through in between the area between the car wash and the bank. This was done to prevent any conflicts between Bona Beef and Dream Clean, so that folks coming out, we wouldn't be blocking, causing any backup between Bona Beef having a fairly decent traffic flows, and we didn't want to impede that at all.
So that the one, I'm looking at the black lines, so that exit there then is Bona Beef's, not yours?
It might be shared.
It's a shared access drive.
They're shared on both, yeah. Thanks, Chris. He can point it out to you. Yeah, that right there is the entrance to, that's between Bona and, between the car wash and the bank. And then on the other side, right there, that is, you come out, you can come around that way to go back out. And the road between Bona and the car wash is a 2-lane road, similar to the other one. It's just the one lane going north is on their property, the 1 lane heading south is on our property, that's all.
So they have to go back through the traffic that's coming into the car wash. And then my other question is, why didn't you go back to the Plan Commission with this, since there are so many changes, and get their approval?
So Craig, why don't you take that one?
Well, first off, if that's the direction and you guys would be more comfortable with that, we're certainly happy to do that. We have no reason not to. I mean, my understanding is the process is we went to the board, we come here. We're happy to give that presentation. If you're all more comfortable and ask that we remand back and address it, we're happy to do so. I mean, we weren't aware of a number of these issues. And as we've identified, a good number of these issues really don't relate to our use. They relate to the fact that it's a commercial development. My understanding it's been zoned commercial for approximately 20 years. We're finally getting to the point, and this is when those issues come up. We had no way of knowing them. But again, if that makes each of you more comfortable, say go back to Plan Commission, have them opine again, we have no issue with that. We're just following the process that you guys have. So if that's what you would prefer, happy to do so.
It's just usually we go by what the Plan Commission recommends.
Well, I understand. Now, like I say, we're more than happy to do that. We have no reason not to. I say, the developer has really put, his best foot forward to do that, and we want to go back before the commission. Happy to do so. Thank you.
My left, Trustee Woodside?
Yes. I'm also concerned about the unfavorable recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Board. I'm reluctant to vote in something that they are opposed to, particularly when they cite public safety as one of their objections. I know that you've submitted additional documents since that recommendation, and you've addressed the stacking and the traffic concern, the traffic volume. As I understand this, the traffic study that you did resulted in a lower estimate of traffic. Did you offer an opinion on that, Dave, or is that?
Depending upon the peak hours, sometimes it's going to be a little bit higher, sometimes it's going to be a little bit lower, sometimes it's going to be substantially lower. So overall traffic volume is going to be very, very comparable. A little bit different peaks versus having a Starbucks or a morning coffee place on the site with a drive-through.
You addressed a couple of the concerns, the most significant concerns, I think, that the Planning and Zoning Board raised, but without their recommendation, I agree with Trustee Ross. I think a better path would be to have them review this and achieve a favorable recommendation from them.
Great to do that. You guys feel that way, we can get right back to that.
So at this point, I'm going to hear from the other two trustees, and then we'll find out maybe we'll go that route, but I'll just see if Trustee Balmas, if you have some comments or questions.
I appreciate you're addressing a lot of these concerns regarding it, but I would go along with the recommendation that I'm hearing from fellow trustees to get the recommendation from our Planning and Zoning Board.
Trustee Gurnee.
I concur with the last two trustees, so.
Yes.
So based on what I've heard, I'm just going to withdraw the motion that's currently pending, and then I'll just say, is there a motion to remand this back to the Planning and Zoning? So is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by Trustee Garner, second by Trustee Balmas. Any comments or questions about doing that? No? Roll call, please.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Motion carries. I think it's the best way to get it right. Sorry for the delay, but I think looking for the best result, right? Be good neighbors, right?
And just
I really appreciate your amenable recommendation for it. Appreciate that.
And I think the trustees did understand that some of the concerns were off-site for this particular property, and this may give an opportunity then to include those other conditions from the developer for those changes that can be added to a potential ordinance depending on what happens at the remand hearing. But that certainly gives that luxury to be able to actually add those additional conditions that we've talked about. Some of those would be covered administratively anyway, the shielding of the lights,
but there may be more.
All right. Thank you for coming out. Thanks. On to item 3, approval of ordinance 2025-79, authorizing the execution of an agreement with Flock Group Incorporated to provide equipment and services for a drone as a first responder program. Pat.
Sure. So had a memo from Deputy Chief Gahn, who's also in attendance tonight if there's more detailed questions. So as you know, we use Flock for safety cameras and daily operations. Earlier this year, the village board approved a drone as a first responder program with Paladin. So we implemented that program. The drone is up at Fire Station 1. Departments found it very useful, had great success with it to date. When we were considering that at the time, truth be told, Flock was probably the #1 choice, but the price was extremely higher than Paladin, and Flock didn't have any American-made drones at that time, and we were concerned with if there was action taken at the federal government as far as drones produced overseas not being allowed into the U.S., we wouldn't have a program. So went with Paladin. Again, have been happy with how the drones performed, but Flock, since that time, the price of their drone program has come down substantially, and they now have an American-made drone. So the police department's been in discussions with them. They offer a 90-day kind of test program. The department is interested in that, so they would have 2 Flock drones to come out and test over a 90-day period. We put one at Fire Station 1 right next to the Paladin drone, so we have a apples to apples comparison right next to each other. And then the second one out west, the Cemetery Road Reservoir, to be able to cover that side of town. In order to have the 90-day test period, you need to enter into an agreement with Flock. So the agreement would be, includes the 90 days. You can cancel anytime during that. If you don't cancel during the 90 days, then it's a 3-year agreement at a total cost of $125,000 per year for the Flock as a drone as a first responder program. Police department did talk to Flock to see if the current drone that we have at Station 1 could be used with the Flock program. It can be used with Flock at no additional cost. So if the police department went the 90 days, they were happy with the performance of the Flock drone, we could convert the Paladin drone onto the Flock for drone as a first responder program. So the Flock drone does have some advantages over the current Paladin drone as far as speed, autonomy, and then also ties in with the Flock public safety cameras that we currently use. So the police department is requesting to enter into this agreement, which allows us that 90-day test period. Before that 90 days is up, we'll report back to the village board, either through the admin memo or some other form as far as how it's going. They envision the testing period to begin in February and then run through May, so that gives them time to include money in the proposed budget for us to discuss in March when that comes forward. So that's kind of where we're at. Like I said, Flock drone costs has come down substantially. Drone offers some additional advantages over what we currently have, so the police department would like to test that out.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Garner, second by Trustee O'Brien. Any comments or questions? Trustee O'Brien.
What is our annual Flock commitment now? It's just an extra 125 for the drones, right? Or is that our annual for everything?
You asking what our commitment currently is for the Flock LPR camera systems? I believe it's around 90,000, give or take. So that's for the 20-some cameras we have, along with some live feed cameras that we have going in.
Oh, so the 125 is the total amount, not just additional, right?
So the Flock drone as a first responder would be additional 125 a year. So currently we pay for Paladin, we pay about 60,000, so it's about double the price.
Anyway, thanks.
Trustee Thorstensen.
So I guess along those lines, since I know what the cameras do, will this, is this just another brand of a drone, or will this drone interact with our current Flock system?
It's both. It's a different drone. It's twice as fast, so it goes 60 miles an hour, where our current one goes 35. It stays out 20 minutes longer than our current one. Additionally, it's integrated with the flock system, so as it goes over, it can, if we zoom in on a license plate, it'll automatically read it. If you click on a car, it'll follow it autonomously. And it'll also be work with our CAD system where the calls will show up on the side, and then an apprentice or someone to connect you. Just click on a call instead of typing in an address or dropping a pin, and it will go straight out to that address. Those are just a few of the other advancements on it.
Outstanding. Thanks.
Roll call, please.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Item 4, approval of Police Department recommendation to award the Police Department Access Control System upgrade, electric work to the low proposer, Kelso Burnett, at a cost of $95,865. Pat.
Sure. So had a memo from Commander Meyer on this. You may remember back in February, we approved a $325,000 contract with Securitas to upgrade the police department access control system. Current system's over 20 years old. A lot of the components have gone end of life, so police department budgeted for the upgrade in this year's budget. At that time, we talked about that there would be some additional expenses that would come forward in the future related to electrical work. We estimated it at $75,000 back in February. Reached out to a couple different electrical contractors that we've used in the past that know what they're doing, and Kelso Burnett was the low bidder at $95,000. The work includes the addition and installation of conduit wiring, keypad readers, proximity readers, long-range readers, windshield, window tags, security panel enclosures, some additional circuits, and then removing and demoing the old equipment and restoring those areas impacted by the new installation. So the department, like I said, was planning on $75,000. They've got some additional funding, $20,000 left over in other line items, so there's enough money in there to cover that. Looking to get started on it right away. Securitas is chomping at the bit to get in there, but this electrical work has to be done first. So that is what is before you for consideration.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Ross, second by Trustee Thorstenson. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Item 5, approval of Public Works Department recommendation to award the outdoor material storage bin final roof installation to the low proposer, DCG Roofing Solutions, Inc., at a cost of $69,247.50.
Sure. So the outdoor material storage bin project has been going on for quite some time. Long story short, what was drawn up and built was a structure that had decking on the top instead of a finished roof. This was missed by staff, by the consultant, by the construction company. So what was presented in the plans was what was built out there. Since there's decking on top, it's not watertight, so it leaks, which kind of defeats the purpose of having an outdoor material storage bin. If it leaks water, obviously anything that's stored within there is going to get wet. It isn't good. So after multiple meetings with the consultant and everybody that was involved in the project, what we're left with is going out to bid or soliciting proposals for a finished roof. So we originally estimated the project at $900,000, which is what was put in the budget. Last year, went out and solicited proposals for a finished roof, received 2, one at the $69,247.50, the other one was a little over $110,000. Both contractors that worked with another roofing consultant that has faith in them, understand what needs to be done. When you add that $69,000 on what's been spent to date, the project will come in just under $900,000. So again, it's been an interesting one. Obviously, we thought we were getting a finished roof. We weren't, but still comes in with what the original budget estimate was. The structure is built. Public Works has material they want to store underneath it. So again, they're anxious to get this finished roof installed. The weather has been cooperating, so they're hopeful that it will continue to cooperate, and if approved, we can get this taken care of and put this project behind us.
Your motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Motion by Trustee O'Brien, second by Trustee Thorstenson. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to the last item is public comment. This is a comment where you can make statements with regard to anything not on the agenda and within the realms of reasonableness. So anybody like to do that? Yes, ma'am. Step up and state your name, please.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, just speak into the microphone, right?
My name is Laura Ramirez, and my husband and I have been residents of Gurnee for the last 11 years. We've been really proud to raise our children here in a community that is so welcoming and has been safe. And it's really been something to be here tonight and see what has taken place. We have a lot to be proud of in Gurnee. This is truly a community that looks at and applauds what our neighbors have done and what they contribute to the community. I'm here to talk to you today because on Thursday, October 30th, this community no longer became a safe place for my children and many others that live here. On that morning, immigration enforcement officials led a chase that culminated in an enforcement official taking down someone inside of Warren High School. That's not news to you. You all know that. But I want to share with you the impact and the effect that that has had on members of the community. I can in no way speak on behalf of the immigrant community of Gurnee, but I can share with you firsthand accounts that people have shared with me. The fact that enforcement officials pointed pepper spray at school members, school staff, and community members, how could my children feel safe being at school? And the result is they didn't want to go back the next day. My younger son was in tears as he came home wondering what had happened to his older brother at high school. And as a Mexican family, we've talked with our children. We talked to them about how they could be safe with what they're hearing at school, because you need to know this is a major topic of conversation in our schools and in homes and in neighborhoods. And we told them, if you ever come across ICE, you need to turn around and go right back into school. And on that day, that was no longer true. What I had told my children to keep them safe wasn't indeed anything that could keep them safe. What I want to communicate to you is my children are still shaken up. Other children I've talked to in the community are strategizing on how to look less Mexican, how to come across as less Mexican, either by how they dress or by how they talk, so that they're not at risk. Because let's be clear, the people at risk are not those that are here without documentation. It's anyone whose skin tone is darker than mine. Parents I've talked to, their children want to go to Gurnee Mills, and the parents don't know that it's not safe for them to drive their children to Gurnee Mills. And so they're at home, their children are at home, and they're very isolated. Neighbors that I've talked to are only leaving the house to walk their dog. Individuals that I've talked to carry a copy of their passport on them to prove that they should not be detained. And I want you to think of those of us in this room with privilege. Would you ever consider having to do that to prove that you belong in this community? I also want to point out how proud I've been to be able to go into the police department, to be welcome there every August, and to build a rapport with my children and the police officers. In the time I've lived in Gurnee, I've never seen a high-speed chase that has resulted in what took place that Thursday morning. And I don't think any of us would ever think that that would be okay for that to happen. So this is my ask. Speaking on behalf of neighbors that are afraid because it's not safe for them to speak up, I'm going to ask that you publicly condemn what took place. Other communities have done so, Waukegan has done so, Lake County has done so, as well as others. I'm going to ask that you draft a resolution to limit immigration enforcement on city property, and I'm going to ask that you please continue to make Gurnee a village that is safe and welcoming. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Please state your name, sir.
Good evening. My name is Julian Ruiz. I went here to Gurnee schools, and I've lived in the area my whole life. ICE and Border Patrol have terrorized the surrounding areas, and people don't feel safe shopping in Gurnee when ICE and Border Patrol are in the area. They have also abducted many people doing landscaping here in Gurnee. We've had armed agents charge into the high school. This impacts businesses and workers in Gurnee because people were afraid to go outside. And 2 days ago, there was a peace walk down Oak Plain Road to show support for the immigrant community. We heard from parents and children who have been deeply harmed by recent deportation activities, like we just heard right now. Children who should be focused on school and hanging out with their friends, not worried about if their family or friends are going to be taken. That's why I and others in the community asked that the city of Gurnee pass an ICE-free zones resolution. ICE-free zones are a popular measure other municipalities like Waukegan and North Chicago have already taken. ICE-free zones build on existing state laws and restrict federal agents from using village property for civil immigration enforcement. They make it harder for ICE and Border Patrol to operate and shows the immigrant community that their neighbors and cities stand by their side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, without there being any other comments, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Baumus, second by trustee O'Brien. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.